All right, my name is Jesse, and today we're going to keep going with our power station build. If you saw the last video, you saw that we finally got the 6000XP mounted on the hand truck, and today we're going to try and start wiring to the load center. So our load center here is for our hand truck, but if I was doing any type of like off-grid cabin, where I was trying to run power to like a shed or a barn or somewhere where there's no electricity, I would do it the same way. It just wouldn't be on a hand truck. I would have my battery, I'd have my inverter, and then I'd have a load center. So although we're doing this on a hand truck, like this setup right here, you could do it in any of those places I was telling you, like an off-grid cabin, a shed, a barn, anything where you're trying to get electricity, but there is none. You would essentially do the same format. You'd have your battery, your inverter, and you would need a load center. And so today we're going to focus on the wiring of the load center. So in the time lapse, all I was doing was running this liquid tight conduit. I think this 1-inch conduit is probably way overkill and too big. I really don't like it. I feel like it's too big. I could probably get away with like 3/4 inch. So I think later on down the road, if I come across some 3/4 inch or maybe some 1/2 inch, I might try and just use a 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch conduit. But this is all I had, and I'm just trying to do a little budget build. So if I come across some smaller conduit, I think or some armored cable, I think I'll use that instead. But now we're gonna run the wiring. I have 4 wires we're gonna run. We have our ground, it's copper. I think that's number 8. And then our L1 is our red, L2 is black. It doesn't have to be red, you could have got 2 blacks, and then our neutrals are white. So if you've ever tried to fish wire through liquid tight, it sucks. So just to make it easier, I just took it off of the fitting here, because when you try and mount this, when you try and fish the wire, it likes to get hung up right here. And so to avoid that, you just have to take it off the fitting here. And so we're just gonna fish our wires through here. And this is number 8 THHN. I think it's rated for 40 amps, which I think the most this inverter can output without grid bypass is like 25 or 30 or something. So we're good there. With grid bypass, it can output 50 amps. And I think for 50 amps, you need number 6 THHN. But this is going to be more of an off-grid setup, but it does have the capability for grid bypass. And if you wanted the grid bypass, the full 50 amps, instead of number 8, you would just use number 6. But if you're not doing grid bypass, you could probably get away with number 10. Because wire gets expensive real fast. The thicker the thicker the wire, price goes up real quick. I wonder if I should have ran this copper first. Oh man, this one's gonna suck. Oh yeah, this is gonna suck. This bare copper's got like a very sharp and jagged tip. So we'll see if we can soften it up a little bit with some tape. Might have to take it all the way off. It's literally, it gets caught up every time right here. All right. Ready to go inside? Yeah, not the biggest fan of this liquid type, but I had a bunch of it, so figured I would use it. Right, we can put our ground bar here, here, or here. All right, ground bar's in there. All right, 4 wires is what we're gonna need for the load center. And then we'll hook up the other side. All right, our load center is wired up. We got our ground, neutral down the middle, and then L1 and L2 are the hots. All right, I flipped the 6000 XP to the other side. So we can get a good angle here. All right. Hook up our ground to the ground bar. All right, ground's in. Do the neutral. All right, do the load. All right, so we're gonna set it up as if we were gonna run off grid, but if you wanted the grid bypass, the 50 amp grid bypass, you would literally just run 4 more wires. It'd be a neutral, another ground, another 2 hots, and those would go into the grid input. And that would allow you to use grid if you were low on batteries, low on solar. Your lights wouldn't turn off. The 6000 XP would just realize that there's not enough battery, there's not enough solar to power everything that's going on in the load center. So it would immediately just stop using solar and batteries, and it would start buying electricity from this grid input. And this grid input, if you're running grid bypass, it's usually tied into your main electrical panel. And so if we were doing a bypass and we wanted the full 50 amps, we'd have to use number 6 THHN at least. We're just running off grid right now, so don't need that. I don't normally put ferrules except for whenever there's a breaker. If there's a breaker, I'll try to put a ferrule. It does look nice. I don't know what the torque specs are, but I'm sure we can figure it out in the manual, but this feels good. This feels to spec. All right, we are wired up. This is our load right here. It's going to our load center, L1 and L2. We got our neutral here. This is on the neutral bar. And then we got the ground going to the ground bar. And when we flip to the other side, there we go. L1, L2, ground, neutral. All right, next we'll move on to our PV wires. We're gonna see if we can hook up our PV wires here and here, and then I think we'll probably punch them through this knockout here, and then we'll slip them underneath the inverter, and then maybe strap them to this or clamp them somehow or strap them to the frame, and our MC4 connectors will just kind of hang somewhere around here. All right, some scrap PV wire I have. These are reducing washers. This is a cable gland. Not yet, don't do it. I almost always forget this piece. Somehow I remember. I've probably done it like a zillion times. Oh. All right, I think we'll wrap this one up here. Progress so far. We got our load center wired up. PV wires ready to go. We just need the battery and the battery cables and the communication cable. We should be ready to fire everything up. The load center looks good. I don't know how I feel about these. I think I might have left them too long. I might trim them back later. And then we could have done also, we could have just put a double pole breaker here and then wired our two hots to the double pole breaker. That's kind of, I should have done that. We could still do it, but I just put a double pole breaker here, like a 30 amp or 40 amp double pole breaker, and we would just hook up these two wires to there. It's just nice. You can just flip the switch here and it de-energizes the whole panel. But it's not a big deal because we could de-energize this panel with the load breaker here. So either way. All right, we'll wrap this one up. I think next time we'll hook up the battery cables, communication cables, and then hopefully we'll fire it up.